exercise. So we're going to start with, let me just take my shoes off, hip flexor release. Okay, so you need your yoga block and a mat. Okay, so you know this one, kneeling onto the yoga block, onto your toes on the back foot, other leg forward. Okay, and we're going to sink forwards and backwards. Okay, then I want you to add in the rotation. So hands together, sink forward, rotate over the front knee. Okay, and we're going to repeat that 10 times. Good work. When you've done 10, I've just got one more, then change sides for me. Let's go. I hope you enjoyed the match yesterday. I'm sure you did. In fact, I kind of lost my voice this morning a bit. My throat was sore this morning from all the screaming and shouting. That's it. Let your head follow your hands and make sure you don't bend the arms at all as you rotate. Good. I've got 2 more. And recover when you've done 10 on each side. Just get my stopwatch. Okay, we're going to go into a hip flexor hold this time. So you can take the yoga block away in the same position, but let your foot rest on the floor now. So the top of your back foot is on the ground, okay? And from here, I want you to lunge forward till you feel the stretch in the hip flexor on the back leg, okay? And we're just going to hold here for 30 seconds. Just resting your hands on your front knee. Okay, 15 more seconds. Last 5 seconds. And relax, come out of it. Okay, change sides. Ready? And lunge forwards. Hands on your knee. Feel a stretch on the back hip flexor. If you're a little bit tight in the hamstrings and the inner thighs, your adductors, you might feel it a little bit on the front leg as well. That's okay. Good. 10 more seconds. If you can't feel the stretch, just lean back a tiny, tiny bit. And relax. Okay, coming out of that. Right, we're going to lie onto our back. We're going to focus on ankle mobility now. So if you take your right leg straight for me, bring your left leg up and hold just behind the knee, okay? And then I want you to circle clockwise. So when you're comfortable with what you're doing, then just relax the head down and circle the ankle. Do the biggest circle that you can do. We're going to keep this going for 1 minute. Don't rush it. Just keep it nice and steady, okay? You can curl your toes in and you can point your toes, that's fine. Make sure the knee stays nice and still, so all the movement comes from your ankle. Good. Just keep it steady, don't rush. Good work. We've got 20 more seconds on this side and we'll do the same on the other side. And recover. Okay, switch sides for me. Same direction clockwise. Nice and slowly, just slow it down a touch. If it starts to ache through the front of your shin or your ankle, that's okay. So don't worry about that, just go with it. And then just see how it feels on this side compared to the other side. Does it feel any more restricted? Does it feel more free? And obviously, ideally, we're looking for both sides to feel pretty similar. 20 more seconds. And recover. Okay, change back to the other leg. Same thing, but this time you're going to go anti-clockwise, so the opposite direction. If your ankle crunches and cracks, as long as there's no pain, that's okay. Just work with it. Obviously, if there's pain, restrict the movement. Nice big circles, nice and slow. Fifty more seconds. Yeah, relax, change legs, same thing, anti-clockwise on the right side now. Make sure it's just the ankle moving. Good. 20 seconds left. You know, change legs. Last time, this time you're going to point the toes and then you're going to pull the toes in towards you. So we go into dorsiflexion of the ankle when we pull in, and we go into plantar flexion as we point the toes. Good. Again, nice and steady, working through full range. Don't force anything. Good. So last minute on this side, and then we fully mobilize the ankles. Ten more seconds. Remember, if it starts to burn down the front of your shin, don't worry. It's just that muscle at the front of your shin, your tibialis anterior, working hard. Okay, and change sides. Exactly the same thing. Good work, last 20 seconds. Last 5 seconds. And recover. Okay, just take that leg straight. Right, and we're just going to stretch out the glutes. I want you to take your left knee with your right hand and pull it over towards your right shoulder. Okay, feel a stretch in the left glute. Okay, so you're coming slightly across the body. You're not rolling over, you're just gently pulling as if you're pulling the left knee to the right shoulder. As long as you get the glute stretch, that's good. Might feel it in the hip flexor as well. 10 more seconds. And relax. Okay, change legs. Left hand, right knee over towards your left shoulder. Feel the stretch in the right glute. 5 more seconds, and then we're going to repeat that one more time each side. Okay, so switch sides, right hand, left knee over towards the right shoulder. Take a nice deep breath in through your nose for 4, and then back out through your nose for 4. And repeat. Good, and change sides. Left hand, right knee over towards the left shoulder. Do a couple of deep breaths in for 4 through your nose, out for 4, back through your nose. Just helps you to relax into the stretch. Yeah, recover. Okay, gently coming up into a sitting position. Now I want your legs to stretch. You bend your left leg for me, keep your right knee straight, and then just kind of lean back onto your hands. Now we're going to work through internal and external rotation of this right hip. So what you're going to do is turn your foot to point in, okay, as far as you can go, and then you're going to turn the foot to point out as far as you can go, but keep the leg straight. So if you bend the leg, obviously you can go further. So keep the leg straight, don't force anything, just hold for 2 seconds in one position, gently rotate, hold for 2 seconds in the other position, okay? I'm going to keep that going for 1 minute. And then just notice how far you get, because we're going to compare it to the other side. Remember, we're not trying to force anything. We don't need to get to the ground. If you get to the ground, great, but don't worry if you don't. I can't get to the ground. So as we point the toes in, we take the hip into internal rotation. As we take the foot out, we turn the hip into external rotation. Hold for 2 seconds in each position. Good. You're not twisting your body at all. You're keeping just nice and stable with the upper body and the hips. Good. 15 more seconds. All right, change legs, straighten the left leg, and now compare how this side, so I'm better on internal rotation this side, and worse on external rotation. Although, it's getting better at external rotation, that's good. And obviously that's not what we're looking for. We're looking for things to be as even as possible. If they're not, it just means you need to mobilize more. Fifteen more seconds. And relax. Okay, you guys stay where you are. I just need to get my yoga strap. So you need your yoga strap or a belt. Going to work through the hamstrings. So runners and footballers normally have tight hamstrings, so we shall see. So pop the yoga strap around your right foot. Come up into a seated position for me. Okay, hold the yoga strap with your right hand. Okay, and we're going to lie back. Okay, and then in that position, from that position, I want you to take the foot all the way to the ground. I need to lengthen my yoga strap, and then all the way back up again for 10. Okay, so my leg nice and straight, all the way up, down to the ground, all the way up. Just do that nice and slowly for 10 repetitions. Okay. Get a nice stretch into the hamstrings, but don't force anything. When you get to your 10th repetition, hold at the top for me. Okay, and then we're going to hold here for 1 minute. You can either use one hand Your right hand nice and strong and long, and then your left arm just rests by your side. Or you can use two hands, it's up to you. Legs nice and straight. Ideally what we're aiming for is a 90-degree angle here between the two legs. If you're a lot less than that, you could do with doing a bit more mobility. You can also, if you really struggle with this, put a yoga block underneath your hips, and that'll allow you to pull the foot in a bit closer to the body. But as long as you feel a good hamstring stretch, it might go into the back of the calf as well. That's okay. May even go into your ankle. You're going to feel it wherever you're tight. 10 more seconds. And relax, come back up to a seated position, and let's change sides. So onto your left foot. So we'll do our 10 repetitions to start with. Go down to the ground, nice and slowly, and all the way up. Keep the legs straight. And then on your 10th repetition, hold at the top for me. I'll start the timer for 1 minute. Keep your right leg nice and relaxed, right arm down by the side of your body. Your left arm is straight and strong. And then feel a good stretch in that left leg. And then take a couple of deep breaths in and out. Ten more seconds. And relax down to back up to a seated position. Okay, we're just going to stretch the inner thighs. So it's called frog pose. You're going to bring your feet together like this, and then you lie back, head relax, arms by your side, and now get all 5 toes to touch each other, okay? And just let the legs relax down to the ground, and then we literally just lie here and relax for 2 minutes. Make sure you're not rocking one side to the other, so make sure your hips are nice and your pelvis is nice and central. And just as you relax, imagine the knees dropping down towards the ground. Feel an inner thigh stretch. We're also, both hips are in external rotation, so we're also working on external rotation of the hips. Think about all the different ways the hips can move. So you've got extension, you've got flexion, internal, external rotation, lots of different ways the hips should be able to move. The more sport you do and the less you stretch, the tighter and tighter things get, which massively affects your speed as well as your performance. But you want to keep mobilizing and stretching. Yeah, we're halfway there, 1 minute, relax into it. You also notice in this position, your pelvis is tilted slightly forwards, okay, which means that you'll have a little or small arch in your lower back, okay, and that's what we want. You're not going to force it, that should just happen naturally. Twenty seconds left. Relax. Okay, just gently bring the knees together, come into a standing position. Just going to quickly finish with the ankles. So grab your small resistance band. Okay, pop it onto just below your little toes. Okay, have a gap between the feet, so you've got tension on the band, hands on your hips, okay? And then we're going to externally rotate the right foot out to the side and tap back in for 10. Okay. Don't let the pelvis rotate. So keep the hips facing forwards. So tap out of the side and then tap in at the middle. When you've done 10, switch sides for 10. Just notice whether one side feels different to the other. Good. When you've done that, then you're going to roll out onto the outside of your feet and come back down. Out and in. Okay, this must only be done in bare feet, not in shoes. Otherwise, you're just going to roll your ankles and you will not thank me. Okay, when you've done that, we'll just repeat that one more time, okay? Because then we're out of time, I'm afraid. Just make sure the band doesn't drop too low onto your feet. But just below the little toes. And then roll out for 10. And relax, then you've done. There you go, that's 20 minutes of mobility and flexibility.